Exam 2026 March Chemistry paper 4 with Dr. إيمان يحيى. نركز مع بعض في الأسئلة اللي جاية يا ولاد. طيب question 1 the symbol of the element with atomic number from 21 to 30 are shown in table. جايب لي atomic number وكمان ال simple element. Answer the following question using only sample of the element. The sample each element can be used once, more than once, or not at all. So the first question is a catalyst upper process. Upper process using iron as a catalyst. Upper process اللي هي senses of ammonia. Using iron object. Zinc used to coat iron, protect from rusting. Has a blue anhydrous chloride used to detect presence of water, which is cobalt. Cobalt chloride change from blue into pink. And is a catalyst used in the reaction of alkene with hydrogen. Nickel catalyst used in this process. Forms a green precipitate when aqueous sodium hydroxide is added to an aqueous solution of its ion which dissolve in excess. Dissolve in excess, which is key point, chromium. لكن لو insoluble in excess, it will be iron 2. Forms an ion has 24 electron and positive 3 charge. How to identify that? The proton number is ID. How to calculate the proton number? Ions contain the 24 electron and the charge with positive 3 means lowest 3 electrons. So total number of proton now 24 plus 3, which is 27. So the ID of this element is 27. And forms a brass when mixed with zinc with copper form a brass. Next question, question number 2. Aluminium and indium are elements in group 3 of periodic table. Aluminium is extracted from purified mean ore, the purified ore mainly aluminium oxide. During this extraction process of aluminium oxide is broken down into elements. Name the main ore of aluminium, which is bauxite. Name the process which aluminium oxide broken down into its element. This is occurs by electrolysis process. Electrolysis process used to break down or to extract a metal from its compound. Name the substance which added to aluminium to reduce operating temperature, which is chloride. Chloride act as a solvent to increase conductivity, act to decrease melting point because now it's mixture, so the melting point of mixture lower than melting point of original compound. And increase conductivity, by the way, because it contains many free ions. Aluminium oxide react with both acid and base to form salts. State the type of oxide that react with both acid and base. Amphoteric. State the name and give the formula of the salt when aluminium oxide reacts with dilute. It will be aluminium chloride and the formula is AlCl3. Aluminium oxide يا ولاد reacts with hydrochloric acid. Aluminium oxide here act as a base because hydrochloric acid is acid. So aluminium oxide plus HCl. The salt will be Al from base and Cl from acid. Salt يا ولاد formed metal of base and non-metal of acid. Chloride, hydrochloric acid gave the chloride salt. Metal from base. It will be aluminium chloride. Formula is AlCl3. Do you know why? Because aluminium is in group 3, so lost the 3 electron, and the chloride or chlorine is in group electrons will be chloride 1 and then cross and drop to cancel out the charge. Now it's aluminium Al1 and Cl3. The formed when aluminium oxide reacts with aqueous sodium hydroxide is sodium aluminate. Complete the equation for the reaction of aluminium oxide with aqueous sodium hydroxide. First, base, this is now base or acid. Sodium hydroxide, it is base. Aluminium oxide is amphoteric, so act as acid. If the second reagent base, aluminium oxide act as an acid. So aluminium oxide plus sodium hydroxide. Now the salt is NaAlO2 and the other product is water. acid with base. Now aluminium oxide here is an acid, acts as an acid with base to form a salt plus water and then balance the equation. How many? Okay, so how many sodium in both sides if 1 and 1, 1 and 1, aluminium Al1 and here Al2 next to the NaAlO2. Now you have 2 sodium, 2 aluminium and 4 oxygen. So if you put 2 here, now you have 2 sodium, 2 oxygen and 2 hydrogen. Okay, so hydrogen is already balanced. Write the formula of an anion NaAlO2. By the way, any compound يا ولاد بيكون cation and anion. So where is cation and where is the anion? The left side always cation and right side always anion. So this part is anion and that part is cation اللي هو الميتال left side يا ولاد. So Na is positive 1 to cancel out is its charge, so it's going to be AlO2 negative 1. Iridium has atomic number 49, which is an ID. State the number of occupied electron shells in an atom of iridium. Iridium in periodic table in period 4. So the number of occupied electron shell, not number of electron in outer shell. Electronic shell or electron shells, number of shells according to period number. A sample of iridium contains 2 isotopes, iridium 113 and iridium 115. This is يا أولاد بيكون الatomic mass not atomic number. Atomic mass not atomic number. Okay. Complete the table to show the number of proton and number of neutron in one atom of isotope. Isotope means atom of the same element with the same number of proton but different number of neutron or number of atomic mass. Atomic mass. So up in the periodic table, the proton number for iridium is 49. So proton number 49. And number of neutron. Now just subtract 113 minus 49. So it's going to be 64 for iridium 113 and 66 for 115. Next question, it shows the relative abundance of 2 isotopes in the sample of iridium. So the relative abundance is a 1 and relative abundance of 115 is 19. So how to calculate? Well, total abundance is 20. Total abundance is 20. Total abundance هو addition of abundance for each atoms or for each isotope. So the total abundance here is 20. So relative mass is mass multiply abundance, which is 1, and plus 115 multiply its abundance, 19 divided by total number of abundance اللي هو 20. So it's going to be 114.9. It's going to be 114.9. Next question. The salt sodium chloride can be prepared by laboratory by different methods. Method number 1, burning sodium metal and place into gas jar of chlorine gas, solid sodium chloride is formed in the equation already given. Method number 2, dilute hydrochloric acid is added to known volume of aqua sodium hydroxide in the indicator until neutral solution is formed. طيب you have to draw يا أولاد small figure كده just to show which one reagent, which one in the reactant أو يعني which one is stored in the flask and which one added. State the color of the flame sodium metal burns with before it's placed into the chlorine gas. It contains sodium, so it's going to be yellow colored. And then state the color of the chlorine gas before burning. Sodium metal is added to inert, so which is pale green. Calculate the mass of sodium chloride formed when excess burning sodium metal is placed into 960 of at room temperature and pressure. First of all, يا ولاد, هو asking about the mass. Okay, to calculate the mass, use triangle for mass, which is equal mass over mr. Okay, then ask yourself, do you have the mole of sodium chloride? And mr is already simple because you know a chemical sample, so you can calculate the mr. But you don't have mole. How to calculate the mole? By molar ratio. Full information given يا ولاد. Chlorine gas at room temperature and pressure. This is a tricky word to use this triangle for gas at room temperature and pressure only for gaseous, because volume of the gas it changed according to temperature changed or pressure changed. So to calculate the number of moles, molar volume. By the way, you have to memorize the molar volume of any gas to 4,000 24,000 cm3. So it's gonna be volume in cm3. You have to use same unit cm3. So the molar volume will be cm3. So volume over molar volume equal 0.04 mole. And then to calculate sodium chloride using molar ratio from equation 1 to 2. So this one multiplied get number of moles of sodium chloride. Then calculate the MR. Now you have mole and calculate the MR because you know the formula اللي هو NaCl, which is 58.5. Just mass of sodium plus mass of chlorine from periodic table, 1 sodium and 1 chlorine. To calculate the MR. Now mass is a mole multiply its MR is going to be 4.68. And then write ionic equation which represents the neutralization reaction take place. Neutralization reactions mean formation of water. This is neutralization reaction. Formation of water. Water formed when H ion combine with OH ion to form H2O. So this one is negative. So H plus OH negative produce H2O. Water is always liquid as it's simple. Free ions always aqueous. And then name that suitable indicator to use the method 2. Methyl orange, moss paper, phenol cethylene. All are accepted, by the way. Name experimental technique using method 2, which is titration. Acid with base by using indicator titration. And then complete the dot and the cross diagram of ions of sodium chloride gives the charge of ions. So by the way, sodium as a normal atom, atomic number 11 and electron number 11. So it's going to be 281. The outer shell holds 1 electron. So to form ion to be full outer shell. Now sodium 28 with positive 1. Do you know why positive 1? Because proton number more than electron number by 1. Proton here now as 11 does not change, and electron now 10. Okay, so proton more than electron by 1, so positive 1. And for chlorine atom is 287. So just to gain 1 electron to be full outer shell, so gain 1 electron from, so you have to draw as an X. Accepted from sodium. Now proton 17, electron 18. So electron more than proton by 1, so it's going to be negative 1. Molten and aqueous chloride are separate electrolyzed using inert electrode. Name the suitable non-metal electrode and suitable inert metal electrode. So the non-metal electrode is going to be graphite carbon, accepted. Metal electrode platinum. Any transition metal, unreactive metal, which is always platinum. Complete 3.1 table to show the name of the product formed at the cathode during the electrolysis of different form of sodium chloride. Remember, cathode is a negative electrode. Negative electrode attracts cation. Cathode attracts cation. Attracts cations, which is positive charge. So in molten you have only sodium plus and this is sodium chloride, yeah? Yes. So Cl negative. So which one attracts to cathode? Sodium. So now sodium ion gains one electron to form a sodium metal. And for dilute aqueous solution, so if you have dilute aqueous solution, aqueous means you have H and OH, yeah, negative. And now you have sodium plus Cl2 plus Cl negative. So total number of ions here, H plus, OH negative, and A positive, and Cl negative 1. So now, which cation attracts to cathode? Cations, sodium plus and hydrogen plus. Which one is less reactive? Role at cathode, less reactive, reduced, less reactive. Element reduced, so 2H plus accept 2 electron to form H2 because gas should be diatomic. Next one, concentrated aqueous solution, so the same ions, H plus and OH negative and Na plus Cl negative. So Na and H attracts to cathode, and then 2H accept 2 electron role at cathode as less reactive element reduced. Question number 4. When hydrogen reacts with carbon dioxide in a sealed vessel at 100 Celsius using suitable catalyst, methanol is produced. H2 plus CO2 produce methanol and H2O. Remember, the delta H always represent the type of the forward reaction. So if negative volute will be exothermic. So the forward exothermic, that means the backward is endothermic. Remember, delta H for forward reaction is going to be negative. So the delta H of backward reaction, delta H of backward reaction, it's going to be the same value but with positive value. Okay? So if forward exo, the backward will be endo with the same value of delta H. Delta H given in equation always for forward reaction. The activation energy of the forward reaction is positive 220. Activation energy, minimum energy to start the reaction. Minimum energy to start the reaction is going to be the distance from reactant to home, to the peak. And other side during the reaction, whole progress of the reaction, product formed. This one energy, and that one is progress of the reaction. Progress of the reaction. Okay, so the activation energy is the distance in diagram, is the distance between reactant and the peak. But the definition of activation energy, energy required to start, minimum energy required to start the reaction. State how the information show that the reaction is reversible and thermic reaction. Reversible because sign can go forward and backward. Exothermic because negative value of enthalpy change of the reaction. And then complete the table by using increases, decreases, or no change. Temperature is decreased. Effect on concentration of methanol at equilibrium. So if the temperature decreases according to role, thermic direction. In the reaction of viscosity, so the rate of the reaction decreases, but the effect of methanol. So count number of gaseous molecule in right side, which is 2 molecules in right side. The 4 molecule in left side. So as the pressure decreases, equilibrium shifts to the side with higher number of gaseous molecules. So shift to the left. That means concentration decrease. And in the catalyst remove, so the rate of the reaction decreases. Catalyst speed of the reaction. Next question. This is the diagram for exothermic. Just put the reactant in left side. So copy paste reactant 3H2O plus carbon dioxide with a state sample. The lower hand here, CH3OH plus H2O. This is copy paste from the equation, by the way. reactant always here, product always here. The activation energy distance from the reactant to home, and delta H is always distance from reactant to product, reactant to product. So formulas of the reactant already we did. We arrow for activation energy, we'll arrow for delta H. Using figure 4.1 and information given to determine the enthalpy change in kilojoule in reverse reaction. Oh, in reverse reaction, this is tricky point. Reverse reaction or the backward reaction, the delta H value the same but in different sign, positive. And the activation energy of the reverse reaction equals the sign with your answer. So the reverse reaction, this the diagram for the reverse reaction. The reverse reaction is endo, so like this. So methanol, the product is methanol and water, H3OH plus H2O, and here is carbon. The equation is 3 water plus carbon dioxide. 3 water plus carbon dioxide. طبعا هي copy paste from already reaction, so it's H2. Sorry, H2, not water. So H2 plus carbon dioxide. So it's going to be distance from reactant to home. This distance already given, this one is 220, and that one 40. So add them. Okay. Then next question. The equation of the reaction of hydrogen and carbon dioxide with delta H minus 40, the same equation, but to calculate the bond of CH. By the way, in this question, delta H or an enthalpy change of the reaction is total number of energy required or absorbed to bond break minus energy released for bond formed. Okay, so first calculate the energy change to break bond. Break bond in the reactant. So the reactant now HH, 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 H3, HH. So 3 multiply value of HH. 3 multiply value of HH. And usually when bond in water. Water, so H2O, so HH. And then how many? OH here in the equation 1, 2. So 2. 2 multiply the value of OH. Then calculate the bond energy of CH. By the way, delta H is bond minus bond formed, reactant minus product. So just minus 40, okay? Bond in taken in reactant minus in product. في عندي 1 missing number اللي هو 3 CH normal algebra question يعني. So now is CH 410. 410. Okay? So you have to memorize the rule for delta H. Next question, complete the dot and cross diagram of molecule of methanol. So draw first this plate formula and each single bond, 1 electron shared from carbon and 1 electron shared from hydrogen. So 1 dot and 1 cross. And then carbon with oxygen, single bond, so 1 from oxygen and 1 from carbon. O and H, 1 from H and 1 from O. 1 from C and 1 from H. 1 from C and 1 from H. Okay? And then don't forget, oxygen holds 4 non-bonding electrons. For ethanol is a common fuel, methanol can also use as a fuel to complete the balance by simple equation for incomplete combustion of methanol. So incomplete combustion produce carbon monoxide, water, just balance the equation. 1C here and 1C in the product. Okay, 1C in reaction, 1C in the product. And how many H's here? 3 and 1. So you have 4 H So put 2 next to the water to be total number of H4. And then O2, add O2. This is the methane reactant, O2. And then calculate how many oxygen in the reactant should be in the product. So O1, 2 multiply 1 is going to be 2. So 2 plus 1, 3. So O2 plus already 1 in. Next question, A, B, C, D are first 4 members of family of organic compound with similar chemical properties. So number A is CH2O2. Okay, this is molecular formula, by the way. B is ethanoic acid, C is propionic acid, and butanoic acid. So the first one is the methanoic acid. Okay, this is homologous series. So first one, methanoic acid, which is HCOOH. This is methanoic acid. And then state the term of family organic compound with similar chemical properties. It is homologous series. And then explain why member of family of organic compound show the similar chemical properties. They have the same function group. And then state the general formula of family. Carboxylic acid is a CnH2n plus 1 COOH, or you can write like this one, CnH2nO2. Both are correct. Structure A formula P. Structure A is methanoic acid. Structure formula. So for structure formula, CH3COOH. This is structure formula. And then molecular formula. So total C, total H, and total O. And propanoic acid, 3 C's and 6 H and 2 O. This is the structure formula. So CH3, CH2, COOH. This is propionic acid. So C3H6O2. Formula of D. So total, how many C's? So the butanoic acid, CH3, CH2, CH2, COOH. And calculate all C's and all H and all O's. So it's going to be C4H82 divided by 2. So it will be C2H4O. And then C is made by oxidation of alcohol. The oxidizing agent used had the formula of KMnO4. This is potassium manganate. Name the alcohol which is oxidized to form C. Propionic acid to obtain propionic acid using propanol. And then give the chemical name of potassium manganate, KMnO4, potassium 7. State the 2 conditions required for oxidation of alcohol: acidified or acid or sulfuric acid, and then heat up. Okay, and then heat up. Then D reacts with ethanol to form ester. State the type of the catalyst needed for this reaction. The catalyst is sulfuric acid to remove OH from carboxylic acid and H from alcohol. Butanoic acid and ethanol react together. This is esterification reaction, mean ester formation. So how to name the product ester? This is butanoic acid and the so start with ethane using ethyl. Start with alcohol part, ethane, so it's gonna be ethyl, and then butane, it's gonna be butane, the same, but ending with a weight. So ethyl butanoate. So start with alcohol part, and then carboxylic, and then ending with a weight plus water. How to draw it? First, draw the ester link, which is C double bond OO. This part is coming from alcohol, and this part is coming from carboxylic acid. So draw the linkage C double bond OO, and then complete number of C's of alcohol. So ethyl, so 2 C's, draw 2 C's, complete with H. And this is butanoic acid. So start with carboxylic acid part, start from this side. So 1, 2, 4, and then complete with H. Remember, HC should form 4 bonds. Polyamide are condensation. Protein are a natural polyamide formed from the amino acids. This is a structure of protein. Deduce the number of different amino acid. So amino acid, by the way, this is structure of amino acid. End with carboxylic acid and end with imine. So we have 2 different box. So this one is the first amino acid. That one is the second amino acid. So we have 2 different amino acids with one non-shaded and one shaded. The number of water molecule produced when the part of protein shown form the amino acid. So 3 molecules. To show the general structure of amino acid monomer. So the amino acid side with carboxylic acid, side with imine. Okay, general structure. The last question is show the part of structure of different polymer. Deduce the number of repeat units shown here. So first of all, what is the repeat unit? Repeat unit detect the linkage. This one is linkage, which is amide linkage. The right side will be one amino acid, left side with second one amino acid. So we have 2 repeat unit here. 2 repeat unit. This one, the first repeat unit, second repeat unit. And then name 2 types of organic compound needed to make the polymer shown. So this one mean large number of carbon with ending with 2 carboxylic acid, يعني 2 carbonyl بالشكل ده, so it's gonna be dicarboxylic acid, and that one ending with NH, so that means he ending with diimine. And the exam is ended. Thank you for watching.